Even though IT firms have grown really very fast in last couple of years, in India particularly, only a few of them are able to offer long-term employment to their staff. That is why people prefer to work for well-known companies. Today, on behalf of Edureka, I welcome you all to look at one of such companies, which is Tech Mahindra. We'll be looking at the interview process and how to crack your interview from freshers to experienced candidates in Tech Mahindra. Without further ado, let's quickly look at the agenda for today, where we will be addressing some of the whereabouts of Tech Mahindra and the recruitment process. We'll further take a look at interview questions in both behavioral and technical round, and I'll give you some of the bonus tips to crack this interview. Before we get started, kindly take your time to subscribe to Edureka YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to never miss an update. Also, if you're interested in online training certification, do check out the link given in the description box below. Now let's get started. Now speaking of Tech Mahindra, like I mentioned, it is a well-known firm in India. Not only that, it is also a multinational technological corporation which is based in India, and it specializes in business process outsourcing as well as information technology. Now, Tech Mahindra is actually well known for several reasons. The first one being Tech Mahindra is a leading provider of digital transformation, and its consultant and business re-engineering services is also one among their services. Tech Mahindra is US's 5.2 billion firms as of April 2020, and it employs around 1 lakh people in around 90 countries as per this video. It is also in the Fortune 500 list for the year 2019. It's constantly ranked top 5 IT firms in India also. Now, these are quite a few reasons that you might want to get started to prepare for Tech Mahindra interviews. Now, that said, there are many more things to add on, like Tech Mahindra can attract and develop the best talent by providing holistic long-term jobs. So long-term jobs are one or the other things that we as employees are looking for. It offers a fantastic workplace as well as a welcoming environment with good ambience to every individual in corporate growth. That said, why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of the core values of Tech Mahindra? Now here in the picture shown, there is a quote by MD of Tech Mahindra. You can take a look at it. Also, there is some of the core values or core purpose that Tech Mahindra always abides by. Now, they will always make sure that humanity innate desire is always driving to rise. Now, Tech Mahindra claims that they challenge conventional thinking and innovatively use all the resources that they have to drive positive change in the lives of their stakeholders and communities across the world to enable them to rise. With this purpose, they have certain values that they abide by. Let's quickly go ahead and take a look at their values. Firstly, they have something called as good corporate citizenship. As in the past, they will always continue to seek long-term success, which is in alignment with the needs of the countries they serve. They will do this without compromising on ethical business standards. The next thing is professionalism. They will always sort the best people for the job, and given the freedom, the opportunities will always grow. They will continue to do so and will always support innovation and well-reasoned risk-taking, but will demand performance. The next thing that they have is quality focus. Now here in quality focus, they make sure that quality is always the key in order to deliver value for the money of their customers. They will make quality a driving value in their work and in the products or even the interactions with others. The next quality or core value Tech Mahindra abides by is customer first. They exist and prosper only because of customers, and they realize that. They will respond to the changing needs and expectation of their customers speedily, courteously, and effectively. That said, The final core value that they stand by is the dignity of individual. They will value individual dignity, uphold the right to express disagreement, and respect the time and efforts of others. Through their actions, they will always nurture fairness, trust, and transparency. Now, these values having been understood, it's the right time to get started with our preparations. Firstly, in our preparations, we will be looking at the recruitment process. Now, in order to understand the recruitment process, you need to see these criteria. Here, the criteria goes by department or branch of study, where all the particular branch and department of studies are being indicated here. And then they have mode of study as well. And also there is percentage criteria along with no backlogs. With that being understood, let's further look at the recruitment process. Now here in recruitment process, the first thing that we are going to have is written test. Now here the written test being the first round, it will evaluate candidates' aptitude and technical skills. It consists of 3 sections basically. It's called aptitude, essay writing, which is basically in English, and technical test. Now first round of Tech Mahindra is always an eliminatory round if you are an experienced candidate. So here we'll consider the next round, which is the psychometry test. Now here in Tech Mahindra interview process, there is a psychometry test where you will have to clear once you clear the round 1. In this round, your personality is being assessed with respect to work behavior. And this is again a non-elimination round, and it's also an online test. Generally, the candidate here needs to solve around 80 questions where you'll be having around 20 to 30 minutes. The next thing you have is technical written test, where your analytical numerical ability will be tested. And if you're looking for a software job, your software testing methodologies, data structures, algorithms, pseudocode, Linux, software testing concepts, your DBMS, query languages, fluid intelligence, and even hands-on programming will be tested upon. Again, this is also an eliminative in nature. Finally, you'll have technical interviews. In most of the interviews, if you are an experienced candidate, you will directly be promoted to technical interview round. Here, questions are about any aspect of candidate study. To pass this round, you must have very good knowledge of computer science fundamentals. And with familiarity of data structures, algorithms, database management systems, operating systems, networking, object-oriented program ideas, programming language of their choice, C++, Java, Python, these things will be questioned upon. Now, candidates from any branch of computer science should be able to crack this round. This round might also include some of the puzzle-related questions. So make sure you're prepared on that also. Now here in my video today, I will be addressing few of the questions in each of the concepts that I will be speaking of. Again, if you are interested in more and more questions, you can always look through the internet and you have number of coding websites where you can crack any number of questions in order to ace Tech Mahindra recruitment process. The next thing or the final round that you will be having is the HR round. Now, most candidates assume that HR interview is very simple, but always you need to keep in mind a poor HR interview can endanger your chances of getting the job. Now, maintaining a nice and confident demeanor is the goal here. Now, it is always important to remain smiling and throughout your process be adequate to your answers. So, I will address some of the HR interview first to start up with our interview questions. And here, the first question in our HR interview preparation round is tell me about yourself. Now, this is a question come whichever company you are attending for. Now, here I'll be telling you how you can actually address Tech Mahindra tell me about yourself question. The first key is to make sure that you are focused on your strengths, skills, qualities, and even experiences if you have any. Being thorough and aware of your job description will always make sure that you can tell about yourself in an accurate way which will match your job that you're looking for. So this is an added advantage. The next thing is to understand that Tech Mahindra itself is a very highly achieving organization. So you need to be positive and enthusiastic with your answers. Being lethargic or showing lack of interest in any of your answers will make the recruiters think that you are just for namesake attending the interview and you don't want to get the job as it is. So make sure you don't portray any of your answers in such a way. So I might go about explaining how you can answer these kinds of questions. I might say that I am highly motivated and goal-oriented person who strongly believes that significant progress in an organization like Tech Mahindra can be achieved only if everyone in the team is working in the same direction. In my previous experiences, I have learned and understood the skills that perfectly fits with the job description. Adding on my reviews on my performance by my previous managers showcase that I am an apt candidate who is willing to give the best to an established and highly achieving organizations like Tech Mahindra. Here you have spoken about awareness of job description and you have also spoken about your previous experiences. Now here you understand that I have given a vague and generalized answer. You can modify this answer with respect to your particular job description or your particular experience. The next question that we have lined up here in HR interview question is, what makes you want to work at Tech Mahindra? You need to understand here Tech Mahindra attracts and develops top people by providing holistic long-term positions based on digital learning environment that is accessible at any time and even from any location or even any device. As a new employee, Tech Mahindra is a fantastic place to start your career. Now, it also offers an outstanding work environment as well as welcoming atmosphere to a positive ambience with beneficials such as personal and corporate progress. Now, as a result, there is sufficient motivation to work at Tech Mahindra. So that said, this itself explains that these things are the qualities that will make you work at Tech Mahindra. Now, if you mention such an answer, of course, don't make it framed or look like you have just copy-pasted from any website. Rephrase it in such a way that you are interested and you're willing to give your best towards the company. That way, it will be understood that the recruiters are actually looking at an apt candidate and they will be willing to proceed further. The next thing or the next question that will be asked in your Tech Mahindra interview question is, why are you suitable for this role? Now, at this point, I might add that thorough reading and understanding of your job description is very important. Now, here, if you are not experienced, there are many cases where a candidate goes unprepared of what role he is being applying for. Of course, he will just prepare of the questions, but when it comes to role or job description, or even perhaps what are the requirements that a company is looking for in you rather than you are looking for from that company, is very important. So if you thoroughly look at the job description, half your answers for such questions will be visible over there. Now, if you just go on explaining in your terms of the job description that they have applied, half answer is right there. Now, I might say that when you are asked questions like these, you should actually mention your strengths and skills. Of course, adding on to job descriptions, you should be doing this. So here I have taken a typical answer. It goes like this. I'm convinced that I'm fit for this role for a variety of reasons, but above all because of my commitment to keep going. To succeed in this role, I have all the required skills. I'm working on learning for myself. My skills and abilities are in perfect agreement with the requirements of this position. Above all, my communication and leadership skills make me a strong candidate for that position. Again, here I have given a vague and generalized answer. If you are looking for a particular position, go and read thoroughly about that position in the job description given and form your sentence in such a way it is coinciding with your job description. Right. That being understood, let's move on to see the next question that's asked in HR interview round of Tech Mahindra. Are you open to relocating to various locations in India? Now, this is for the candidates who are applying in India itself. Generally, If you are a person who is applying or a citizen of India, it is a very generalized question that this will be asked. They are not possibly relocating you, but to see your flexibility and your commitment towards the job that you are applying for, this is the probable question that will be asked. So make sure you give an affirmative answer. If you give a positive answer, there are chances that you will be hired and will not even be relocated. But if you give the negative answer, there are chances that the recruiter will think that you are not even close to accepting the offer, which you don't want the recruiter to think. So give an affirmative answer, and that's a go to this question. With that said, let's move on to see the fifth question in our Tech Mahindra HR interview round. Or I might say the final question. Now, here I have covered the most asked question in HR interview rounds of Tech Mahindra. There are chances that you will be asked outside these questions also. But these are the questions that will must and should be asked in Tech Mahindra interviews. Now, what do you think your pay might be? This is a very sensitive question. Again, it is asked to test the candidate and the accuracy, or even to test the trickiness in this question that candidate might grasp out of it. So you need to understand that you need to give a diplomatic answer. Now, they're not looking for right or wrong answers here. They're just looking for the approach of the candidate towards this question. It's important that you give an answer which you can make the recruiter think that you are not looking for an aspired or out of the way salary or pay for that matter, but at the same time you are expecting something that you are giving for, that is to be paid on point to the work that you are delivering. Like I said, answering this question is a challenge, and it is mostly asked for the experienced candidate. Here, you might have to inquire about company standards and employee raise, what is a bonus policy, and things like these. These questions that you ask as counter ones to the question asked by the recruiter will make them think that you are an aspiring candidate. That closes our HR interview questions round. The next thing that we have here is some of the tricks to remember for the HR interview round. Now, as I went through these questions, you should remember that detailed examples are something that I stressed upon. Now, giving example for each of the question that you will be asked in HR interview round, or perhaps even technical interview round, is very important. So always be ready with detailed examples. The next thing is to be structured, concise, and clear. Do not beat around the bush. Beating around the bush will not only consume the recruiter's time, but also make them think that you are not well informed, but just trying to while away their time, which nobody wants. So make sure it is concise, structured, and clear. Now be informed about your core values of Tech Mahindra. If you study them or even go through them on net, even their website, that will make them think that you're well informed and ready to join Tech Mahindra as an institute. The next thing is to be quick and on point with your answer. Just like I said, beating around the bush won't gain you any points. At the same time, taking a long time to think or a long pause after each and every question makes them think you are disinterested or distracted perhaps, which nobody wants to know. And hence, be on point and quick with your answers. With that, we jump into the technical questions round. Firstly, in technical questions round, I will be addressing which are the technical concepts that will be covered in the technical questions round. Data structures is one of the important concepts. Along with that, OOPS, Java, C, C++, DBMS, database management systems, JavaScript, there's operating systems, web development skills, and coding skills. Now in coding skills, you will be asked to write small snippets or even pseudocode for that matter. Now, these are some of the brief concepts, and all the questions to freshers and experienced candidates will be asked in and around these topics itself. So make sure you're prepared based on your job role. Now here I have addressed few of the generic technical concepts, technical questions perhaps, that will be asked in any of the technical question round in Tech Mahindra. So quickly let's dive into that, and we'll also take a look at few of the conceptual answers of these technical questions. The first technical question would go as, what do you understand about structured programming? Here I've started with a basic and fresher level kind of question. It's just on point answer, which goes like, structured programming is a programming paradigm that involves a totally structured control flow. Structure refers to a block such as if, then, while, for, block structures, subroutines. Now this contains a set of rules and has defined control flow. Structured programming is used in nearly all programming paradigms, including 𝐿𝐵𝐶 model. Here you might also give examples, but it's just on point answer that they are looking for. Now you don't have to by heart this, you just have to understand the concept, and even if you are able to explain the concept through an example, that will also do. It's more impressive rather. The next thing that you will be asked, again I have covered a different concept here, which is DBMS or database management system. Now this is again a moderate level question where it goes like, what do you understand by a checkpoint in DBMS or database management system? The checkpoint in DBMS technique is that it removes all previous logs from system and stores them permanently on the storage drive. Along with that, preserving the log of each transaction and maintaining shadow pages are two methods that can assist DBMS in recovering and maintaining asset properties. It's also important that you know about asset properties at this point. If you explain asset properties, then that's an added advantage to your question that is being asked. Now, when it comes to a long-based recovery system, checkpoints are very necessary. Checkpoints are minimal points from which the database engine can recover after a crash, as a specified minimal point from which the transaction log record can be utilized to recover all committed data up to moment of the crash. At this point, you must understand here that you have directly not approached the checkpoint. You have established the answer in such a way that DBMS checkpoint is being approached. Along with that, you have included a small concept which you have made the recruiter understand that you know something about asset properties, which means you're well informed in DBMS also. And finally, you have come to checkpoints. This way, you have structured the answer, you have approached the answer in such a way, and this is how an experienced candidate, or at least 1 to 2 years kind of candidate, will be answering. Now that covers our second concept and mediocre kind of question. The next is a little hard kind of question and different concept again. Here I have taken a coding kind of question, which is in Java. So basically in Java, what is the default value of local variables? Actually, this might be asked even for freshers because it is kind of easy. Again, it will be asked for experience also because they need to test your basics. Here, the answer will go like, local variables, primitives, and object references are not initialized to any default value in Java. A code snippet here will illustrate the same. You can take a look at this code snippet. You can also look for any other example online and similarly prepare for this particular question. Again, these are some of the hand-picked questions that we have covered here, which will definitely be asked along with 10 other questions. So I recommend you don't stick just to this. I recommend you to go look at some of the few websites which I will be mentioning at the end of today's session. And you can take some of the mock interviews, you can take mock coding question tests there, and this will prepare you in an apt way for Tech Mahindra interview questions. Finally, we'll be addressing difficult range of question here, and again, different concept, which is the operating system. Here the question goes like, what is the re-entrancy in multi-programming time-sharing systems? Now this will be asked not just for the system-based administrator or system-based kind of roles, but also to IT jobs or software kind of roles also, to test your knowledge on basic OS or basic operating system. The answer goes like, for multi-programming time-sharing systems, re-entrancy is a very effective memory saving strategy. It has the capacity of allowing several users to share a single copy of program at the same time. Two of its main features are as follows. The program code is incapable of self-modification. Each user processes local data must be saved separately. Hope that's clear and understood. Like I said, I recommend you to go on other coding technological websites where you will be seeing hundreds of such questions. Now, this could be very generic questions, not just a Tech Mahindra interview questions, but just on coding websites or technical websites, you can find many of the questions. I recommend at this point that you go to Edureka's blogs, which we have addressed on different technologies. We have written blogs on different technologies where we will be addressing all kinds of technical interview questions. Now here, there are not just 5-10 questions, there are up to 100 questions. You can go and take a look at it. I'll be speaking about that in the end of today's session again. Now, to close up this part of the session, I would give some of the bonus tips in order to crack technical questions here. Problem-solving technique is used in technical questions. So use this technique. It's called problem-solving technique, where you will be solving each and every question in terms of problem. Understand the problem, come out with a probable solution, and think of various solution which is nearing to that probable solution also. The next thing, like I said, just to the point, adding on to the previous point, is always find many number of solutions to a problem. Now, technical question or technical interview is to see your analytical knowledge and analytical skills. You shouldn't narrow down your thinking with respect to a given question. You should, in fact, widen your thinking. You should think in many ways and come up with number of solutions, which will give the interviewer a perspective that you know many number of ways to solve a problem. The next thing is, it might seem like technical interview is really tough, but with appropriate preparation, like I suggested, just write down all the things that I told, or even pause your video here and make a note of everything that I just suggested. This way, these things, you can actually use it as cheat sheet and prepare for your interview even in end moment. And finally, timely decision-making capacity. Technical round is all about testing these combination effects that you have. Your analytical skill, your time sense, your thinking ability, everything. Combination of these things is how you crack your technical round. That being understood, we'll move on to final part, which is the bonus tips. In bonus tips, I will give some of the tips to crack your interviews. Now, it is important that you test yourself for a set of coding challenges to see how quickly you can solve them. Like I said, here you need to test and take a number of mock interviews as much as possible. Now, this will always make you be prepared for all kind of roles that you are applying for. Now, it's always important that you share experience, prepare well to demonstrate leadership skills, teamwork, professional and academic performance. Your even communication skills will be shown if you try to explain with experiences and examples. So I've been stressing on this throughout this video that you have to speak about your experiences. Not only will you be able to convey better, but you will also not be caught up in any probable kind of a lie where you're trying to formulate an answer. This way you have an in-hand experience where you will be speaking about it and giving the interviewer the perspective that you know many things and you're also experienced candidate. The next thing is to understand your strengths and weaknesses. It is important to understand your weakness as well, because your weakness is something that will make you work on your strength and give more importance to your strength. So make sure you work on each of it. It is always good to have optimistic and friendly attitude. Now, even though sometimes if the recruiter is trying to stress upon you, is trying to convey that you are not the right candidate, those are the critical times that the recruiter is looking for stress kind of situation that you are able to handle or not. This is where you need to show your utmost friendly nature. So maintain that confident and positive manner, then you will be able to impress the interviewer. Finally, like I said, take some mock interviews, This will always give you an idea of how actual interview will take place. Adding on to this, I might suggest you need to be dressed properly, give proper good time to reach the venue in time. Time sense is very important. Do not make the recruiters think that you are not in time. That said, finally, we close up by looking at some of the websites or some of the places where you can enhance your skills. LinkedIn, again, a one-stop destination where it is an open resume. You're going to have to improve your or up your game of your LinkedIn. You need to post all your achievements. You need to put more and more certifications, put more efforts into beautifying your LinkedIn profile, because that is where your recruiters is looking for you. So make sure you have good profile on LinkedIn. For coding and technical websites, you can go to HackerRank. There is GitHub. Adding GitHub link to your LinkedIn profile is an added advantage. In HackerRank, you can take number of mock interviews, number of technical coding questions where you have to crack. That way, you will be able to ace the Tech Mahindra interview questions. Finally, take a look at Edureka's website. Now, Edureka's website has number of technical based certifications where you can add to your LinkedIn profile to enhance the value of your LinkedIn profile as well. Not just that, you have permanent coach which has lifetime access to it. Now, once you register for these courses of your preference, you have unlimited supply to all the resources in the website, and also you have constant coach to guide you upon your journey to crack this interview. I hope this session was helpful, and I also hope that you are able to crack your Tech Mahindra interview. If you have any doubts regarding today's session, or if you want to convey anything, do put down in the comment section below and we will look at it. Until we meet again next time, happy learning.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!